Hello and welcome. My name is Elise. I am so glad that you are here today. Today I have a Slimline fall card for you featuring brand new products from Trinity Stamps. If you're watching this on Friday the 18th, these items are live, brand new release from Trinity Stamps, the Autumn Rainbow release. Here's the project that we're going to make today. So let's get into it. So for the supplies, I have got this Autumn Rainbow stamp, die, and stencil set. This is so unique. So the stamp has the veins and the stems of the leaves. And then you can see that the stencil is the leaf itself. And so you can do really, really cool effects with ink blending and different techniques that you can use with stencils that you can't do with stamps. I can't get the same blending on a stamp that I can do with a stencil. So this is so, so cool. So as you can see here, I am starting out with the stencil. For me, I found that that's easiest. So like I said, I want my autumn fall leaves to look like gradient because I feel like, I don't know if you ever go for a walk in the fall and you find like a beautiful leaf and it's usually multicolor. So it's not just red, it's red and orange, or it's not just orange, it's orange and yellow, or green and yellow, or even brown. And the stencil really allows you to get these kind of realistic looking fall leaves that you just could not achieve if this was a stamp set. So I also think that this is so much fun. It's really innovative to see this all come together with a stamp, a die, and a stencil. I just think it's really, really cool. And I know that I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. So this clip is obviously sped up just a little bit. I can't ink blend this fast. But I am just going through the stencil and placing that down. The paper that I am using for my ink blending is Bristle smooth paper from Strathmore. That's my favorite blending cardstock choice. So that's what I went ahead and used. I ended up bringing in two colors of yellow, kind of a brighter color and a more muted tone, a pretty bright orange, and then a brick red tone. But like I said, I could see people using greens with these, browns with these. Also, I feel like there's a lot of really fun things you could make rainbow leaves. And that kind of matches to a little bit with the sentiment in this stamp set. The sentiment in this stamp set talks about diversity. The sentiment reads, "Diversity brings out the beauty in the world around us." And I think that that is so lovely and such a beautiful sentiment. And so you could you could really make these leaves any color that you want, the whole color of the rainbow. And I think it's also really fun because this stamp set is actually called Autumn Rainbow, and that is also what the release is called. By the way, I'll have links to all of the products down below, but be sure that you check out the new release from Trinity because there's a lot of really cool things, stuff to gear you up for fall and Halloween season, which is here and upon us. So you got to start making those projects. Okay, from here, I went ahead and loaded all of the stamps into my Misti, just lined them up on top of my ink blending. And I'm using a Distress Oxide ink. I don't have a lot of regular brown ink, so I just went ahead and used a Distress Oxide ink for this. And this is ground espresso. And I am just going ahead and stamping those stems on, making sure that I get good coverage with this ink. And just stamping that down. It's really nice to use a Misti because you can get all these done at once. I'm then going to take the coordinating dies and die cut out all of these little leaf shapes. I store all of my dies on a magnetic sheet, so that's what's off to the side there. I went ahead and just used them all. Here you can see what they look like die cut out. And now I'm going to move on to making my background. So for the background, this is also a brand new stamp set from Trinity. I'm going to do some heat embossing. So I'm once again using that same Distress Oxide ink pad, and I'll just use clear embossing powder on top of it. Because Distress Oxide stays wet, long enough, you can emboss on top of it. So it's going to give my wood grain a really cool effect. I'm also using the brand new Misti 2.0 here. Love the Misti 2.0. And they sell these in the Trinity shop. So it's linked down below if you've been looking to get your hands on one. So here is that clear embossing powder. By the way, this is the Slimline Woodsy background stamp, and it's really neat because the size is actually 4x11. So you can definitely use it on a slimline, even larger than that, or it could be a background for a regular A2 size card as well. Just going to go ahead and heat set this, and then I will set it aside because I need to do some die cutting on top of it. So I want to make sure it's cool. Now I'm going to do my sentiment. I've got some dark red cardstock here, and I'm going to heat emboss my sentiment onto that with just white embossing powder. And I've got this little stitched oval die that I'm going to use to cut out my sentiment. So here you can see I've got my white embossing powder out, big tub of that because I use it most often. Then I've off camera, I've heat set that, and I've also die cut out that woodsy background with the Slimline, the stitched Slimline die cuts from Trinity. So now you can see I'm just kind of trying to decide how I'm going to arrange these leaves. I don't want it to be a perfect wreath around my oval. I just kind of want these leaves to frame. So as you can see, I've got that traditional looking maple leaf to the right, and that larger leaf, it's almost like a fern leaf. I'm not quite sure, you guys, but it's the other largest leaf. So I wanted those to be opposite of each other so that the card has a little bit of balance. And then there's a number of these leaves that are a little bit smaller. So I'm just scattering those in, just trying to get a feel for how I want these before I go in with my foam tape. So I pop up the sentiment using one layer of foam, and then all of the leaves with 2 layers of foam so that they stand up on top of the sentiment, if that makes sense. But they're all glued onto the background stamp cardstock. So, and that's just craft cardstock, by the way. So you can see here I've got some of that, some of these leaves, and I've got the double-sided. You can see I'm sticking the tape down to the background and not to the sentiment. I ended up having one spare leaf that I didn't end up using because I kind of liked that this was an odd number. So this is where I end up leaving it. You can see here is my card base, but I wanted to use another fun fall color as a border kind of background. So I've got this piece of burnt orange cardstock, just using some liquid glue to adhere that down to my card base. My Slimline card base is folded 3.5 by 8.5, and that fits into a standard business size envelope. Go ahead and use the same liquid glue to adhere down that wood grain background. And that will pretty much complete the card for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you making your fall cards yet? Or if you already moved on to Christmas, where are you at in your card making process? I hope that you all have a wonderful day. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Go ahead and like this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.